Hey everyone, this is Brandon from Zaid Comics, artist and co-creator on Magic Cop, the graphic novel that is in demand on Indiegogo.com right now, and just one half of the two best looking brothers in all of comics. And today we're doing another movie poster breakdown where I, from a graphic artist perspective, takes a look at a movie poster and breaks it down from a component standpoint. So let's see what we have today. So we're going to be looking at the poster for Alita Battle Angel. This movie came out early in 2019, and I know there was a lot of fandom about it. It kind of became an instant cult classic from what I saw on Twitter and just out in like the movie community. So this is like the generic like number one poster for it. There's a couple of other ones, but they're all pretty derivative. I think this is the most important one. So we're going to take a look at this one here, and this one's probably going to be like the classic cover for your Blu-ray case or something like that. So you're going to see this one a lot around, and this is being the more generic movie poster one. There's a lot to work with here, so let's take a look and see what we can break down about this. First off, we can look at this, and obviously we have the main character here, and then we have a lot of your sub characters off to the side here. This is very classic now of the floating head style. You have a lot of characters being shown. We saw this with the Midway poster. Star Wars does this. Avengers, a lot of the Disney superhero movies do this now. It's really popular. A lot of studios like to show off the character or the actor faces, but it can also be used instead of just showing off character faces. It can be used in a way to showcase character emotions and feelings. We can kind of relate to them a little bit, if it's done right here. I think here, we kind of get a couple of emotions out of these characters, and then in some other instances, we're just getting, character showcases. I would say probably these characters down here are character showcases. Maybe her. This guy seems like he's pretty stoic, so we're not really getting a lot of emotion out of him. This character, he's a little bit larger. He's at the top. He's not looking like all the other characters. All these characters are looking at us, the viewer of the poster. This character is looking at Alita, which is interesting, which is leading our eye over to her face. So if we started somewhere over here on this side of the poster, and might get led up these faces, and then we would get led to her. Similarly with this character down here, he's riding this motorcycle of sorts. He's also looking up at Alita. So we're kind of getting like this awe moment from these two characters, which is pretty cool, and then we go back to these characters, like I said before, these are more merely character showcases. They're kind of creating a weight on this side of the poster, and these characters are so here we could look at the background now. We can look at the background now. The background has a lot of stuff going on to it. So we have, your clouds over here, and we have like this floating city thing, and then we just have like the regular city down here, and then some other stuff going on, some buildings over here in the foreground. So this part up here is really important. We need this because there's so much weight on this side of the poster. We've seen this in a lot of other space posters, like if we looked at Star Wars or something like that. We have a lot of action or, let's say, weight on this side of the poster. We need something to spill over into this side to fill up this area, because if this was all blank, everything would be down in this corner, and if everything was down on this side, there would be no reason for our eyes to venture back up in this direction. We have a lot of lines leading us towards this side of the poster, but then once we look at the main character here, we'll explore why it's okay, because we have some leading lines again. Another part of the city back here is creating a lot of weight on this side to balance off this side. This is cool though, because when you put on something like this that's more part of the storyline, such as this cityscape, you're really setting up the tone for the city. Like if you watch the Zombieland 2 movie poster breakdown, we get to see that also, where we get a showcase of the setting for the movie. So in this case here, we're looking at kind of like this futuristic, maybe like Blade Runner style city. Obviously it's very, very sci-fi. We have this floating city. It looks like there's some sort of walled off area with guns that are protecting the city from something. We have like these robot things. So it's definitely very future-esque. And then we can go into the use of color on this poster. We have a lot of blue here, and then we have a lot of orange. So the blue is very, very sci-fi. It's been used in sci-fi movie posters for a very, very long time. Even like psychological sci-fi posters. It's very evoking of future thinking, technology, blue LEDs, stuff like that. It's been around psychologically for us, just in our daily lifestyle, for decades now. And then when we go in and we bring in this use of orange here, it kind of creates that contrast line right here. But the use of orange and blue is really, really nice, because it's a little bit more of a contemporary thing now, where we're using blue and orange for action sci-fi movies. So this orange area in here is kind of invoking like that explosion, that fiery-ness that you have when you would just put, like, let's say if this was on fire up here, or explosion or something, obviously it would give you like that conflict going on. Here with the orange and the blue, that is very indicative of like action sci-fi now. I think it's very smart. It's very commonly used, and here it's used very, very well, because it's also being used as kind of like this sunset or sunrise skyline in the back here, which is creating a really nice highlight, which is creating the separation for the sides of the poster here. So then we go on to the Alita character, and she is creating probably one of the most classic styles that you could do with a character, which is like this power stance that creates the triangles, which are really, really used all the time. We could see triangles all over this thing, and they're very, very important, because this stance is very, very powerful. We have a very wide base down here. She's carrying this entire poster. You can even go so much as to say up here too, this piece of the poster is being carried entirely by the Alita character. One interesting thing that we do have about her, we have her legs leading up into this area, which is where we want the focus to be, up here. We do have this sword, which is unusual, and the sword kind of points us down into this direction. However, it works really, really well, because there's so much power stance happening down here. There's so much of a base of strength in these triangular shapes that she has going on, that this works. Even if it leads you down, everything's always going to lead you back up. So it's really cool. You know, if she was just standing here, you know, with maybe like her arm flexed or with no sword in here, or sometimes, you know, they put like a gun in here or something like that, you know, it would work the same, but her character obviously must use a sword, which is very important. They want to showcase that on the cover. This sword is kind of working in conjunction with this sweeping bridge, which is cool. You know, so we're getting a lot of dividing lines on this poster, which is nice, you know, because it creates a separation, but it also brings everything together. You're able to, when you have these dividing lines, you're able to kind of compartmentalize certain things and still have it all held together because of your central character. You know, your central character is the thing that's going to be focusing the eye. And so when you have all of your stuff compartmentalized, you can have different scenes or, you know, different showcases. You know, we've seen this on some like horror movie posters. You know, you see this on, you know, a lot of posters now with like your superhero movies, you know, Avengers and stuff like that. You can really separate up some scenes and create a really cool, diverse poster that's not just a figure standing in the middle here. So, you know, you can consider that as well. And then with the use of color, it brings it all together because you're really grouping certain things together. You know, this is like in one area, maybe this is a lighter part of the movie, and then here is kind of more of the heavy psychological part of the movie, something like that. You know, we could hide a lot of meaning in colors and then things with dividing lines. You know, maybe this is one part leading into here, something like that, which is pretty cool. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. How do you feel about this poster? I think it's pretty cool. I didn't get to see the movie yet, so I'm going to have to see it pretty soon. I know it came out in February. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I will see you next week with another movie poster breakdown. Make sure you guys go to zadecomics.com if you want to check out our comic book Magic Cop, which is coming out only in a few months. We're going to be releasing that, and it's crowdfunding on Indiegogo. And if you guys want to help out me and my art, you can go to patreon.com/ZadeNinja and subscribe there. And we'll see you guys next time with another movie poster breakdown. Thank you for watching.